Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? I just dropped my daughter off at school. And y'all ain't gonna be able to see me in this video once again, man. It's beaming out here, bro. I'm getting sun glares from everywhere. So yeah, y'all, just for the twos and fews that fuck with me, this visor is just what y'all gonna have to do. But let my voice be your edification, god damn it. So peep gang, we gotta get into this shit, man, and that is the extras that they continue to put on David Benavidez, man, and all of the shit that he's saying getting swept under the rug. Man, listen, man, just the level of delusion surrounding this dude. It isn't just even so much about his capabilities in the ring and what he would do to him and him and him and him and him. They are legit dismissing his actions. They're dismissing his movement, his just his decision making and everything. Before I even get into that, I want to say this, man. Normally, I wouldn't even trip on him being drunk at a fight or anything like that, man. I think niggas get it fucked up where they think just because you're in the public eye, you're inadvertently supposed to be a role model, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. It shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Sexy Red is in the public eye. That ain't no goddamn role model. You feel me? Like that, nah. Everybody in the public eye is not meant to be a role model. Everybody in the public eye is not meant to be an inspiration for your kids, unless your child is strong-minded enough to know that this is a human being a flawed human being that's gonna make mistakes. So I don't think he should be held to the standard of being a role model or anything like that. And I don't think he should be. Normally, I wouldn't think that he should be under the thumb of scrutiny based on him being, inebriated at an event. But when you have a history of being stripped of your titles or whatever, you have a history of being stripped from your titles and due to just being undisciplined, that's a cause for concern right there, man. So it did. When I saw it, I was like, man, he throw that in an event, man. It don't happen often, but then they like, nah, bro. What about that time he popped dirty? Cocaine use. They found cocaine in his system. You know what I'm saying? Just it's like, damn, you can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. And there's a few people who are who are beating the drum against him in the sense of like, yo, you out of pocket for that, bro. Like that shit ain't the move. You dig? Like, nah, man, nah, homie, that ain't it. That ain't it at all, man. That ain't it at all. What are you doing? But then you have others who are like, yo, man, he's having fun at an event, man. Like fighters drink, they smoke, they indulge, they do what it is that they do. They live a party life. I'm kind of in between because on one hand, I'm of that ilk, nah, man. He a grown ass man who like to drink, having a recreational drink. It is what it is. But then on the flip side, I'm also like, all right, you are an athlete. You should not be you shouldn't be this throwed during training, and you have a history of chaotic behavior through your extracurricular activities outside of the ring. So it's definitely a cause for concern, man. So I don't, I don't want to, I don't want to, indict him or, just completely, but it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about me because I'm a dude who can, I can find common ground in any argument, at least to a certain degree. I can find common ground, but other fighters, most people won't do what it is. Their counter to that is, oh well, what about Canelo at his daughter's event? You dig? It's like, god damn, it's not the same. He's in the private. If I'm not mistaken, that was the privacy of his own home, and it was not during camp. He's in camp. He's in camp right now, and he's at a fight. You dig? You're a representation of your team, man. Even though you wasn't fighting, your team was fighting. You're a representation of that team, Brody. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know, man. That shit seems to be going under the rug. It is making its rounds to a certain degree, but it's, to another degree, it's like, all right, bro, like, so what? He a grown ass man. He can have a drink. All right, cool. So that's being swept under the rug. What else is being swept under the rug is the fact that this dude is going to these different platforms. Like, bro, Fresh and Fit, that ain't the platform for you. Now, even on that platform, there's a contingency of people who are Reverend Geno Jenkins can go on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and it's going to be a contingency of people who knows who the fuck he is. and they're followers of his. That dude spit heat. You know what I'm saying? Like Geno Jenkins is the truth. That dude is the truth. I fuck with Reverend Gino. I fucks with him. So I'm saying if he was to go on that platform, it's gonna be a sizable people who are familiar with who he is and who are followers of his. So I'm not entirely too mad at David Benavidez for going on that platform. But it's like, damn, of all platforms, fresh and fit, bro. This right here is completely contradictory to what it is that you represent. Even when you look at someone like a Geno Jenkins, man, Geno Jenkins would be a dude who's, he's a pastor. And what do the pastors do? They lead the he's a shepherd. He has a flock of people that he leads to, on the righteous path to prosperity. That particular background will coincide with what they got going on, because even though I can't stand them niggas, I don't think their mission statement is to save women, more so it is to get on here and eviscerate and excoriate them all on camera. But they'll put this mask on like we're trying to look out for you and be beneficial towards the progression of women and yada yada yada, despite the fact that you're completely disrespecting them because you don't agree with what it is that they do. So Geno Jenkins would coincide with that platform. David Benavidez going on that platform, he kind of seemed out of place. It's like, what are you doing up here? Even going on Cigar Talk, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Now, I think Cigar Talk, these are not platforms that I follow. Like, I watch more Fresh and Fit because we have contrasting ideologies. You dig? Like, I don't like them dudes. And a lot of times I go on internet or my YouTube feed is, consists of a lot of things that contradict my narrative and my belief system and my ideologies and my viewpoints. So I like to have a better argument and understanding of what it is that I'm not in agreement with. And I'm not in agreement with how these dudes do women. I'm not in agreement with how they disrespect Black Americans and the plight up here in America. I'm not a fan of that. So I go and I try to get their, I try to hear their rhetoric. So I'm more suited to have a conversation with somebody that I'm in disagreement with. I'm not just coming with it from my emotions. I'm coming with my standpoint and your viewpoint as well. And I'm finding common ground with that. Even if it ain't common ground, it's just me having a better understanding of it. But nonetheless, I follow more Fresh and Fit than I follow Cigar Talk. If I'm not mistaken, Cigar Talk has had other fighters on there. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. But, I wouldn't know for sure. But I think I think I may have seen blood on Cigar Talk before. I don't know. Don't give me the line. But you're going on these different platforms, which isn't entirely a bad thing. But the thing is this. You are supposed to be training for Vosdick. You are supposed to be training for Vosdick, and your entire conversation is surrounding Canelo Alvarez. That is telling me you are not fully focused and committed to fighting Vosdick. Because if we being real, I don't think he's about to fight Vosdick. I don't think he's going to fight Vosdick. I don't. Especially if I think as the fight wanes, by the end of the month, I think we're going to have a better idea of who Canelo was fighting in September. I think we're going to have a better idea of who he's fighting in September. And I feel like that's going to be David Benavidez. And David Benavidez is not going to want to get his body suited to fighting in a higher division where he's more comfortable at, and you having to go back to straining his body to get back to a division that he's uncomfortable at. When he could just stay in the division and just, all right, cool, I've been riding it out this long. This where I'm at. What's one more fight? So I don't think he's going to do that. I personally don't. I personally don't think he's going to do that. And if he is doing that, he's making an egregious mistake by not putting emphasis on the fact that he's about to fight Vosdick. Everything is Canelo. This dude will go down an entire. He'll run off an entire soliloquy with just him berating Canelo. Oh man, he's ducking me. He's a pussy. He's scared. He this and that and the third. We offer him 50 and 60 million and yada yada. Why are you talking about 120 million and yada yada, 150 million, 200 million when you've never made that before in your life? It's just like he's emotional because he's this close to getting that fight, and he just seems to not be able to grasp it the way that he would think he would be able to grasp it. If this was any other fight, they'd be dying to get this fight over the line. It's like, y'all still don't get it. Y'all not on y'all time. Y'all on that. Y'all don't dictate how a boss moves. And they can't come to grips with that. And with them not being able to come to grips with that, you get, you get temper tantrums like the one that you're seeing with this dude. Where now it's time to go on. It's time to go on camera and cut him up on dating podcasts and all that shit, man. I honestly, I'm not mad at it because I want him to keep the pressure on Canelo. So Canelo eventually gets irritated, like, yo, man, let me go ahead and just beat the shit out of this dude, and we get that fight over the line. That's what I personally want. That's what I want. That's what I want. But like I said, it ain't about me. So just I don't know. I don't get it with this dude. So oh my damn. Oh my damn. Fuck. Oh shit. This damn car. This car is about to drive me up the. Oh my god. But I don't get it. Maybe to me it is a lack of focus when when you're talking about everybody but the fighter that you're about to be in front of. And other people's sometimes every individual is different. Some was what works for this individual may not work for this individual, and what's set and is an undisputable fact for this individual may not be an undisputable fact for the next individual. But it does come off as lack of focus, bro. It definitely comes off as lack of focus. Definitely 100% lack of focus. But that's just through my perception and through a multitude of other people's perception. But it may not be that with him. Maybe it's just, yo, man, we ain't got the fight etched in stone, so I can talk about whoever the fuck it is I want to talk about. So, whatever the fuck ever with that, man. I personally don't think he's about to go up there and fight Volstick. I honestly don't. But if he is, all right, cool. You need to start putting your focus into him. You shouldn't be talking about, dude. We have a idea who you gonna fight next, and Canelo's not that guy as of right now. So you putting your energy into this dude is kind of like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And that's getting swept up under the rug. It's getting swept up under the rug that he's not like shout out to the apostles, Cam the Baptist, Pastor Goose, Big J, shout out to my niggas up here in the city, man, doing their things on these YouTube spaces. But I'm on a space with them yesterday, and I'm listening to people talk about, David Benavidez and David Morrell, the best fighters in the division, and they deserve that fight. I'm like, well, why are y'all not looking for them to fight each other? Like, why does this dude have to do? Why does he have to go and fight everybody, but they don't have to fight no goddamn body? That goes unnoticed. I'm in a text messaging group with my homies, my loved ones, and I'm saying the same thing to them. Why don't they have to fight each other, fam? So, that once again, because it's more soothing to use David as a conduit to further denigrate Canelo. All of his mishaps and misdeeds will go unnoticed and disregarded. The dude is talking about fighting goddamn Zerto, jumping up and fighting Zerto Ramirez at cruiserweight. And we don't even know how he's going to do up there, at 175 pounds. And it's like, yo, this dude is all over the place. And to further add to the delusion, they think that he's in a position where he's pretty much indestructible because of sparring rumors with Bivol. And people keep running with this notion that, sparring. Now, like I said before, sparring tells a story. Yeah, you're working on shit, but you're fighting as well. You're definitely in there fighting. It's a fight. It's an unofficial fight. But the objective of sparring is to work on shit. You dig? So I just don't run and jump out the window with sparring. But it can't tell a story. I've explained this before, and with him, he's going around telling people that what about what he did with Bivol. And when you further unpack what happened and how sparring actually goes, and get people to understand that it's a lot more nuanced than an actual 12-round 3-minute bout, a 3 minutes per round, a 12-round bout. You dig? Now it's like, you playing semantics and word games. And it's like, no, bro, y'all are using something. Like, no, y'all sound stupid. Y'all sound dumb as fuck right now. So because of how he did Bivol in a sparring match, that means he can deal with Volstick on fight night, Bivol on fight night, better Bev on fight night. And I'm sitting here like, y'all dudes are out of y'all minds. Y'all dudes are out of y'all mind. Like, what, just, y'all are not going to chastise him for this? Y'all ain't gonna check these boxes and say, man, that seems a little bit off to me, Brody. That seems a little bit off to me. And once again, the thing is, like, y'all are caught up with how he's doing dudes with no power and no, no like he has a size advantage over. So y'all will look at a Caleb Plant and be like, oh shit, bro, they was bragging on how he did David Lemieux just 2 years ago. They was head over heels about how he did David Lemieux. Oh man, don't nobody want Canelo want none of that. He did it to David Lemieux, fam. Like, this is David Lemieux we talking about. David Lemieux, really? This is what we doing? All right, brother, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. The delusions of David Benavidez. And now the overall delusion and just the biggest, just most utter garbage I've ever heard in my life came from Jim Lampley. Someone who's a very well respected. He was the voice of boxing commentary for well over 2 decades, man. Like, you are the voice of this shit. You're the voice of this. You dig? When we think in boxing commentary, we think bang, bang, bang. You know better. For you to say the shit that you said about this man is just ridiculous, man. And why you said it is ridiculous. Bro, this dude is not about to be no fucking heavyweight. That shit is not happening. That shit is not happening. Usually with these fighters, you'd see an upside in them predicated on how they're doing in the division that they currently campaign in. Like, it was nothing for us to see Roy Jones jump up. Why? Because he was out athleting everybody. And even though he didn't have a jab, he substituted the left hook for the jab. There was still other components there that said, yo, man, this dude is a great, and he's going to be one of them dudes when he jumps up. You had that. You had that working for you. He had that working for him. There is nothing in David Benavidez's repertoire that says he is going to be a heavyweight, like a respectable Mexican-American heavyweight champion. There's nothing that says that whatsoever, because for it to be that, he would have to start cultivating a certain skill set in the now. And that's a skill set that he doesn't have. He's not outskilling anybody right now. He's outsizing them. So for you to go on an interview and say he has, the last I saw explosive power like that with Demetrius Andre, and it's like, bro, you do realize Demetrius Andre has been dropped at smaller divisions, right? Every division that he's fought in, he's touched earth. He touched earth at 154 pounds with Vanes Matarosa, a dude who is not known for punching power. He touched earth in front of him. I don't think he touched earth at 160 pounds. He touched earth with Devon Nicholson. And we've seen what the upper echelon fighters have done to Devon Nicholson. And it wasn't good. We saw what Mabili did to Devon Nicholson, bro. And then, of course, you get to David Benavidez, man. By the third and fourth round, Andre was breathing with his mouth open, Brody. He was breathing with his mouth open, and that's stupid. Maybe he could have carried that weight a little bit better had he been in a position where he's been in 50-50 fights and he's had to dig deep and had to make adjustments on the fly. And he wasn't such a heavy favorite going into the fight. He's been through wars. By then, possibly he could have been able to dig deep. But in that David Benavidez fight, but because that was such undiscovered terrain, he jumped up there and he looked ridiculous. Now, and even in that fight, when I'm looking at people talking about, what he would do at cruiserweight and light heavyweight and then eventually heavyweight, Demetrius Andre kept him off balance, man. For them first few rounds. No defense, terrible feet, bro. It's like y'all are putting too much extras on this dude. So for him to eventually, even in the sense of where he's dominating the fight and he's having lengths a moment, spans of moments where he's looking off, unbalanced the way that he is, and he's eating shots the way that he is. How is that going unnoticed? It's like, y'all, all right, cool, he knocked him out, and that was the end of that. But everything, that was the only story that was told in the fight. It's ridiculous how y'all come to the conclusions that y'all come to with this dude. So him going in there and detonating Demetrius Andre is not a declaration that he's going to be able to jump up and be a factor in these divisions. Like, no, especially when you get to talking about heavyweight, where he would be undersized. He's oversized for the divisions that like, I don't want to say oversized as far as height is concerned, but just mass, as far as mass and, girth goes, he's bigger than a lot of these dudes down there. That's how he was able to deal with Caleb Plant in such a not easy manner, but he was able to deal with Caleb Plant in a lot more, a lot better than others, because he outsized him. And he has a good engine. We can't deny that. And Caleb Plant just so happens to have gas tank issues his damn self. But he was isolated out of that fight for the first 6 rounds, bro. That fight could have been scored a draw. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's not skill that we see with this dude for you to sit here and say that he will be able to jump up to heavyweight. And based on how he did Demetrius Andrade, he'd be able to jump up to heavyweight, fam. Hell the fuck no. Hell the fuck no. Andrade has not been in no wars and been through the, he hasn't been through he hasn't walked through certain fires to be able to deal with someone like a David Benavidez. He hasn't. And I said that off here. He's going to beat the shit out of Demetrius Andrade. That, like, because of that means he can fight at heavyweight? Fuck no. And you talking about explosive power, bro, he couldn't even drop Caleb Plant, who was ready to go. I'm still arguing with people talking about it's the ref's fault and all the clinching and yada, yada, yada. Hey, yo, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But if you're someone who can fight at heavyweight, you should be able to break a clinch. If you're somebody with this high boxing IQ, you should be able to time him coming in. You should know his patterns. You knew, all right, yo, he's about to go for the clinch. And meet him with an uppercut or meet him with a jab. If you wasn't so, even when you look at the footage of him, he's shoe shining on the heavy bags and everything. Like, all right, bro. Like, that's why you can't break a clinch. That's why you can't time a clinch. Why are you not pumping your jab? Why are you not using your straight shots when you're rangier than most of the fighters in the division? But to say that he has explosive power equivalent to a Mike Tyson and a Lennox Lewis, the last time you saw power like that was with Mike Tyson. You are, like, Jim Lampley knows better than that. You talking about explosive power? You telling me that David Benavidez can knock out a Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds? You're telling me that? Equivalent to what Anthony Joshua did? I don't think so. Fuck no. Hell no. It's just too much extras being put on this dude, bro. It's too much extras, and I keep telling people that in these forums that I'm consistently banging on. It's too much extras put on this dude. He's good, but he is not who y'all think he is. He's not that guy. Anybody who would sit here and tell me that he can jump up to heavyweight and be a respect, you think he beats Andy Ruiz at heavyweight? You put Andy Ruiz and David Benavidez in the ring right now at heavyweight, you mean to tell me you got David Benavidez winning that fight? Because I don't think he beat Zordo. I don't think he beat Zordo at all. I've never thought he beat Zordo. Zordo's he's a better counterpuncher. He has the ability to cut angles in the clinch. He has that at his leisure. Benavidez doesn't have that. He is outsizing these fighters. So how is it that he can become a respectable heavyweight champion when he is not going to have that size advantage the more he moves up in divisions? Shame on Jim Lampley for saying some shit like that, Brody. Shame on you. You ought to know better than to say some shit like that, bro. As long as you've been around boxing, you can sit down and have a conversation with anybody on boxing, man. You're telling me that this dude is equivalent to a heavyweight, like explosive power like Tyson and Lennox Lewis? When you put him in the category of a Mike Tyson, you putting him in the category of a goddamn George Foreman and Ernie Shavers and, these Lennox Lewis, David Tua. You're putting him in the you're putting him in the category of these dudes. Some of the greatest punchers this sport has ever seen. He ain't got one punch knockout power like that. He could not stop Caleb Plant or drop him. Fuck heavyweight. We need to be, considered about what he's gonna do at light heavyweight. Because you wildin' if you think he about to go in there and walk through Volzdik. It's not gonna happen because Volzdik has been through it. Volzdik has been through it. He's been through it. He's more seasoned than David Benavidez. He has more intangibles than David Benavidez. And y'all are telling me that this dude is just like, I'm talking, oh, he gonna go in there, he gonna beat the shit out of fucking Volzdik. Like, y'all clearly have not seen Volzdik fight. Y'all haven't seen Volzdik fight, bro. Like, it just baffles me just how just the hyperbole surrounding this dude, man. And for Jim Lampley to come out of his mouth and say that shit is weird. And the uncharacteristic shit that he's doing, going on Fresh and Fit to talk about a fight with Canelo, all that shit goes unnoticed. There's no fighter that y'all would sit there and justify him talking about a potential fight with an individual instead of the fight that's allegedly about to be in front of him in the next 2 months. You dudes are weird. You dudes are weird. Y'all goofs. Ooh. Time to shut my car off. Oh, I ain't that bad. But y'all are weirdos, bro. And I just really want y'all to get your act right. Get your acts right. Stop acting stupid. You're not. David Benavidez is not jumping up to no heavyweight. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. And I need y'all to understand that. And I need y'all to understand his advantages going into these fights now is a size advantage, not a skill advantage, because he's not outskilling anybody. Stop with the hyperbole surrounding this dude. He is a good fighter, not a great fighter. I'm going to work. Y'all stay righteous. Deuces.